Hello friends. So in this video I will tell you how to study. So most of you would be thinking, or generally all of you would be thinking, what would this video tell? I mean, what message will this video conduct to you? So in this video I will tell you how to study. Yeah, all of you study and I do too. But this video will help you to know why to study and how to study, and it will also give you an idea of how you should study so you get the following results: good marks, success to goals, better memory powers, better notes, etc. So most of you would have thought what will this video tell you and guessed by the thumbnail only. So let's continue. So let me tell you why to study. According to dictionary, the meaning of study is the devotion of time and attention to gaining knowledge of an academic subject, especially by means of book. But why am I telling this to you? Because we just we just say study. The word study, we use it millions of time in our daily life. But we actually don't know the definition of that. So you can say that study is giving time or attention in gaining knowledge of an academic subject like maths, English, science, history, geography, etc. by help of books. So why to study is a very common question. Like some children who don't want to study can also say like that, why I have to study, I don't want to study, like so on. So there are some common importance of study. First of all, it will increase employment and career opportunities. It will develop good habits, self understanding and perseverance. It helps to achieve your study goals and earn qualifications, giving you a sense of accomplishment. It increases self-confidence in your abilities. It makes you more focused and responsible. It positively impacts your family and the world too. So now, which kind of learner you are? So what does this mean? Everyone hears and remembers differently. It means like some people are visual learners, others are auditory learners, and some are kinesthetic learners. Let me tell you what is it. So first of all, visual means sight learners, auditory means hearing learners, and kinesthetic means feeling and touch learners. To know which sense suits you best, take this little test. So now, to know which type of learner you are, visual, auditory, or kinesthetic, you have to take a little test. It's not a test like you have to do something. You have to just close your eyes and then think of a happy memory. Make sure you can hear sounds or voices in this memory. You should have a clear picture in front of you and you can touch and feel things in your mind. So after that, please pause the video. So then after you have paused and then you open your eyes, which sense was the strongest? You have to tell. So first of all, I will ask you questions after you open your eyes. So which sense was the strongest? You have to tell, okay? So could you see the picture in your head most vividly and clearly? Was it you were able to see that image carefully, and was it clear? If the answer is yes, then you are a visual learner. If not, then you are not a visual learner. then were the sounds you heard the clearer of all senses? If it is true, then you are an auditory learner, means you are not a kinesthetic and visual learner. Then third question, when you felt different things in your visualization, did they seem very real, as if you were really touching them? Was you able to see that very clearly so that you can able to touch it in your visualized mind? If yes, then you are a kinesthetic learner. So once you have knew that which type of learner, it is very easy to help it in studies. It is very easy to study. So first of all, let me tell you visual learner. Who are visual learner and something like what is it? Give an idea of that. So visual learners, as the name suggests, study best by seeing things. When you try recalling facts, you visualize them if you are a visual learner, obviously, or visualize yourself while you were studying them, and through this, remember them. For you, mind maps would be very useful. They have all the facts in one place in front of you. Small drawings or sketches of facts prove very helpful as well. Using short notes, different colors, different fonts, and studying each subject in a different room can help your memory retention insignificantly. Now, auditory learners. Such learners learn best by listening. For you, the best ways to learn would be listening in class, reciting, and recording. When you recall facts, you remember them in your own voice or your teacher's. Recitation is essential in your learning. While studying, keep reciting whatever you have learned out loud. You can also record your own voice reciting facts and then play it back to yourself repeatedly. Getting someone else, a friend, to teach you or teaching your friends can prove beneficial as well. Now, kinesthetic learners. These learners learn best by touch and feel. For you, taking notes during class and later while revising helps significantly. You should practice writing answers more, as you then get accustomed to the process. Before your exams, ask yourself questions and write down the answers. You can get this checked by your teachers. This way, you get used to feel of the writing out answers. It usually helps to go through all the three processes: write down notes, use bright colors and memorable fonts to enhance your memory, and recite facts out loud while learning them. That way, you cover all bases and the odds of your remembering and recalling information are higher. So now you have known it, then let me tell you how to study. So SQ3R. So what is it? Let me tell you first. An efficient way to start your study is to do it step by step. So researchers have come up with what they call SQ3R, which full form you can say it is survey, question, R1 means read, R2 recite, R3 review. S stands for survey, Q stands for question. There are three R's, and the first R stands for read, second recite, and third review. Survey. While surveying the chapter or material to be studied, keep in mind that this is simply to maintain a mental outline of the chapter. Surveying includes briefly going over the preface, table of contents, and the chapter summaries. You will have to read the main headings and subheadings within the chapters, examine any graphs or pictures, and read the captions. The purpose of a survey of material is to give you an idea of how much and broadly speaking what you will be studying. A little tip from my side: It is easy to get distracted and starts reading the details, but control the urge and wait for some time. Detailed reading comes under step 3. Now, question. After having surveyed your study material, begin to question yourself about different parts of the chapter. For example, if you are studying the First World War, ask yourself questions like, why is it called a World War? Who started the war? Why did it start? The purpose of things is that even before reading the details, you will already be thinking deeply about the content. This will also give you an idea about how much you know and don't know about a material. So later you will be merely be filling in the blanks in your head as you go along. Now comes the read. R1. Having surveyed and questioned, now you have a structure of the chapter in your head. Now you can start to really read the material and it will register in your brain in more orderly way. Read through quickly and don't try to mug up the details just yet. Don't take note yet either, as that will slow you down. Remember to go through the graphs, chapter, summaries, and definitions once again. Do this a couple of times. Tip. Avoid underlining the points first time you read. The reason for this is that you won't know yet what's important and what isn't, and you will only end up confusing yourself. Now, after reading, recite. Having read the material a couple of times, you now need to recite. This means you ask yourself questions out loud and then answer them yourself. To do this, you go through the heading and subheadings of your chapter and ask yourself what you know about them. Answer this for yourself without consulting the book. Once you have done this, you will have an accurate picture of how well you know your material. Experts recommend you spend at least half of your time reciting. Now comes review, the third R. The review steps would only take a few minutes. In this step, you recite your way through the material again. The more often you review before the exam, a day before, the night before, and an hour before, the more likely you are remember the material. There are some common points while studying. Remember, like, or learning by rote. While tips and tricks might help with small bits of information, often some of the material needed to be mugged up by rote. Some of you might complain, I just can't mug up stuff. However, this may not be as difficult as you think. Do not read up too much at a time. Just take up one chapter or even half a chapter in one sitting. Revision is of utmost importance. Keep going over sections of what you have learned at regular intervals before your exams. Second, don't study similar subjects together. Research shows that a student studying too many subjects together is likely to forget due to interference. This happens when you study similar subjects together. Take up one subject at a time, go through it truly, and then move on to the next subject. For example, you should not study subjects like biochemistry and organic chemistry together, or maybe even two foreign languages together. When two subjects are very similar, there is a tendency to muddle up facts between the two and get confused about what is relevant for each subject. And third, don't try last minute cramming. Often you cram the night before a test or an exam, but research has shown that distributed studying is better for memory retention than cramming everything at once. Mugging up right before an exam does not enable your brain to retain the information for long term memory. Also, it adds unnecessary stress. The trick is to review notes frequently and other study materials weeks or days before test. Reviewing notes immediately following lectures and jotting down or highlighting information that you think is important is the best way for preparing for text exams. Testing your knowledge by asking your friends to quiz and returning the favor at frequent intervals will give you an idea of how much you remember easily and well. Now, let me come to some tips and tricks. So, here are some of the common tips and tricks which I will give you. First was associate points with an emotion. If you can make a meaningful connection emotionally to the subject or develop a strong opinion on a certain point, you are more likely to remember the information better. This could mean that while reading about an unjust historical event, you felt angry, or you could feel sympathetic toward the terrible living conditions of a country, or think of something scary while studying about a scientific experiment. Now, visual associations. By associating facts with visual representation like pictures or colors in your head, you are more likely to remember them. For example, use your imagination to study and remember the details of a story. Imagine the characters in your head, their dress, their appearance, picture the setting of the story in your head, or while studying history, you can picture the sequence of events of a battle on a sea to remember it better. Sometimes the weirder the connection, the better you remember. For example, to remember the Hugo de Vries formulated the mutation theory, you can associate his name with Hugh Jackman, the actor that played the role of a mutant in the movie X-Men. Now comes mnemonics. So mnemonics are memory devices that help learners recall larger pieces of information, especially in the form of lists like characteristics, steps, stages, parts, and phrases. Mnemonics help remember specific details. Mnemonic devices work by relating facts with short phrases, words that rhyme, or anything else that you are familiar with. For example, the popular and the unforgettable mnemonic for remembering the sequence of the colors of the rainbow, Vibgyor, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. How about Bhajza for recalling the order of Mughal emperors Babur, Humayun, Akbar, Jahangir, Shahjahan, and Aurangzeb? You can create your own easy to remember mnemonics. Remember how difficult it was to learn the names of our solar system's 8 planets in order to their distance from the sun. But then there was this easy to recall sentence and acrostic. My very educated mother just served us nuggets. The first letter of each word in this sentence, M, V, E, M, J, SUN, corresponds to the name of the planets in the correct order: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Mnemonics can be a really fun way of remembering the other order of things. You can see in the image a very interesting way of remembering the days of week or the days of a month in a year or in a month. For example, there are 31 days in January, 28 in February, and the one which was inwards was 30, and the one which was outwards was 31. Most of us would have used that. Now comes the poems and songs. You can make up a tune to sing the facts in, or give them a tune that you are familiar with, maybe of your favorite song, or nursery rhymes like Twinkle Twinkle, so that it's easier to remember. Remembering facts by singing them to a tune makes learning more fun. Also, making short, catchy sayings that cover essential information really helps too. For example, in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Now, use crazy funds, but this connects us to notes. So, researchers has shown and proved that words with weird fonts stay in person's head for a longer, as the mind recalls the extra attention that is needed to try and understand what the word is. For example, a person is more likely to remember Rabindranath Tagore in this italic form instead of Rabindranath Tagore in a normal form. Now after that, take notes. While taking notes in class, most people take down every word the teacher say or don't take any notes at all. So they either end up with too much to study later with a lot of repetitive material or have none to at all to use as a reference. To use notes efficiently, summarize whenever possible. Write down what is important and discard whatever is not essential as you write. When taking notes while you are revising your material, take them down the way you will remember them best. They can be in shorthand with hand drawn pictures in different colors or different fonts, whatever suits you the best. Tip: always take at least some notes for yourself. Your notes will work best for you, and copying them from someone else might take up more time and not save it. So, these were some of the common points I will tell to you. Now, now the video ends. Thank you for watching the video. And if you like the video or understood the video or knew something more interesting to study or knew something which you like, share the video and like it too. Thank you. And the video ends here.